here. It looks... Look. Oh, lots of action. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 hyenas. I'm going to go around to the other side where you can see. So we've got 3 hyenas over here, and then another, the little one, another one. Oh, even, I think there could even be 6. That looks like about a yearling. I think here's the mom of the little one, and there's that young male. Right, I can't remember what you guys call him. Ndapandula. The young male Ndapandula. Oh, just watch the aerial, and we've got hyenas almost in the road. You good? Hello, nieces. Okay, so let's try to figure out how many we got here first. We've got these 2 lying right next to us. There's Ndapandula, so that's 3. Then there's 2 other adults at the den, 5, and then the really young guy. So that's 6. Really nice. And compared to this morning where we didn't have a hyena in sight, we checked twice. You can see some fly bites on her ears. Has anyone got any questions about hyenas? Please email us at questions@wildearth.tv or hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Looks like a... When we're looking at there, looks like a male, just from his behavior around that other female, but we'll see now. We might get some nice greeting when he comes up. Still quite young though. Here comes Ndapandula. Nice relaxed evening at the hyena den. This one, it looked like this was the mother of the youngest cub. Oh, there's a bit of vomiting there. Probably bone and hair. Oh, we can smell it. Wow, you guys are really lucky you can't smell that. And then, of course, being hyena is going to eat it again. But probably bone and hair from the last thing they fed on. Got a bit stuck in the stomach or caused a bit of upset in the stomach. That's why quite often you'll see hyenas eating grass. And sometimes that if they have a bit of an upset stomach, they eat the grass to try and make themselves be sick so they can get rid of whatever's annoying them. Oh, and now Ndapandula is going to go investigate whatever came out of that other hyena's mouth. And he's going to go have roll in it, isn't it? It's a nice smelly hyena. Go ahead. Good afternoon, Chantal in Canada. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Chantal would like to know why hyenas are considered to be closer to the cat family and the dog family. To be quite honest, Chantal, they actually it's quite a difficult or misleading question because they're not really dogs nor cats. They're probably more closely related to your mustelidae, sorry, not your mustelidae, your like your honey badgers and your mongooses. But basically, it would be that when in the genetic split on that sort of evolutionary tree, they would have split closer from the cats than from dogs. Just sorry, we can hear something going on in the background there. It's the same hyena. He's vomiting up a bit more. He obviously ate something really rotten buffalo or something that disagrees with him. Philemon's dip Nisikaya is active. Go again, please. Sorry, could you repeat the question? Well, Heather in the UK, welcome on Drive this afternoon. Heather would like to know whether hyenas need to mate frequently, like lions, or just one copulation is okay. Heather, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. If I remember correctly, that they do mate multiple times, but not to the same degree as lions, not sort of every 15 minutes for 5 days and forget about everything else. Because they can be quite sort of stationary in one place with the den, so that a lot of animals visiting the den, the females will tend to almost force the males to mate with them while they're around the den. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll see what I can do when I get back, and I'll post the answers on Twitter. Sure. All right. We've got elephants joining us at the hyena den. How's that, guys? We don't even have to go look for the elephants. We've got elephants coming in behind us. Can only see one at the moment. This can always be quite fun, especially if it's a young bull. You might just decide to chase the hyenas because they're there. Afternoon, Lucy from Tennessee. Welcome on Drive with us this afternoon. Lucy would like to know whether a wild dog would harm a hyena pup. I would say most definitely if they did catch the hyena pup away from the den or at the den, out of the den while the adults went around. Wild dogs would very much like to remove hyena because they're serious competition for wild dogs, and they do steal quite a lot of carcasses from them. Afternoon, Laura from Happy Valley. Welcome on Drive with us. Laura would like to know whether there's a way for a hyena who is lower standing in the pack to move to a higher spot in the pack. Generally not, Laura. The only way that would happen, I would say, is that possibly if that animal, the animal immediately above that one is killed, and if it's a female, hasn't had any offspring yet, so there is an immediate successor to that spot in the hierarchy. The only way for a male to sort of climb up the hierarchy ranks in a clan is to basically try and move and join into another clan. But because he's from a different clan and might have different genetics, there's a chance he might be able to get a higher position in the next clan because of his genetics. So he enables the females to mate with someone who's not genetically the same as them. Unfortunately, we can't see this Eddie. I can still hear him behind us. Afternoon, Lynn in Canada. Lynn would like to know where do hyenas go after when they leave the den? Are they solely nomadic, or do they have set territories? And can we use sort of very specific identifiers to follow hyenas? So Lynn, hyenas are very, very territorial. They are probably one of the more territorial animals around. They defend their territory against other hyenas and patrol it constantly. And some of the biggest fights a hyena will ever get to into his life, apart from lions, is with other hyenas and defending their territory. And those can be incredibly epic battles where hyenas are killed. And so how they mark their territory is they paste. So they use their anal gland and they leave scent pastings on grass, and we might not be able to smell it so well, but other hyenas can smell that. And you will see when a hyena finds a pasting from a non-familiar hyena that is not of its clan, the tail will come up, immediately get very, very excited, and maybe start whooping, trying to call in reinforcements if it thinks the other hyenas around. But hyena are probably one of the sort of most territorial of the animals in terms of defending their territory. And in terms of identifying, I know researchers have used so ear notches, different faces, and the spot patterns are unique to each hyena, with a leopard. So researchers do use that. Generally, most safari lodges and stuff don't go into that depth, but scientific researchers do use sort of ear notches and the spot patterns to identify different individuals. Well, I think the baby seems to have gone back down the hole. Good afternoon, Valerie. I think this might be your second or third question today, but thanks for the question again. Valerie would like to know whether there are different types of hyena, like there are with the giraffes. So there are actually probably much bigger genetic differences in hyenas than giraffes, where you could probably crossbreed sort of your Maasai giraffe and your reticulated giraffe with your southern giraffe. They'd be able to breed. The different hyena species would not be able to breed at all. So you've got these guys, the spotted hyenas, and they're the biggest and most powerful, and also the most social of the hyena species. Then you have brown hyena. Brown hyena occur throughout southern Africa, and then further to the west. There's actually brown hyena that occur not too far from where we are now. There's some areas where you get both. But generally where you have a high population of spotted hyena, like the Sabi Sands, they outcompete and chase the brown hyena away. The brown hyena is best known as sort of the strandwolf, which basically means the beach wolf, because they're able to survive in an extremely arid desert climate in Namibia, and they patrol that coast, the skeleton coast on the desert in Namibia. And they've pretty much only go up as far as southern Angola. Your third hyena species is called a striped hyena. That is the smallest of the hyena species, and they occur from around the Maasai steppe in northern Tanzania all the way through Asia into India. There is another animal that is part of the hyena family, but it's not really a hyena, called an aardwolf. He looks very similar to a striped hyena, but quite a bit smaller. But he only eats termites, where the other three are carrion and meat eaters. Good afternoon, Jonathan De Beer. Welcome on Game Drive. Thanks for joining us. Jonathan would like to know whether spotted hyenas mostly scavenge or hunt their food. And Jonathan, that completely depends on the area that they're in. So in an area where it's easy, where there's sort of possibly a high lion density or high leopard density, they do scavenge quite a lot. But hyenas are able to hunt very well for themselves, and quite often in certain areas they have a higher success rate at hunting than lions or leopards. And in the Ngorongoro crater in Tanzania and the Chobe Savuti area of Botswana, you can get clans of hyena upward of 100 strong that will hunt adult hippo and buffalo and completely, almost barely scavenge from the lions. But one must remember, the hyena is the supreme opportunist. So he will scavenge if he can, because it's much easier than having to expend his energy to hunt. They might get a little fright when we start if the immobilizer's off. See? So now we'll keep still and not move. So just let them relax, so we don't want to disturb them too much. Here we go, nice little stretch. And boom, boom. One more head to drop. There's always one who's got to be difficult. You'll notice he might watch the tires as they move. Okay guys, it seems like the general consensus is that we should try and go find a few more ellies. So if we don't get a nice clear view of the little cub, we're going to continue on and try and find those ellies again. The little guy's gone to have a nap, so I think we're going to head on and see if we can find some elephants.